Hey guys, this is a exterior tour of our 22 Renegade Valencia 38 BB. BB meaning bunk bed. Hold on a second. I got a lovely assistant here. She's really wants to jump the gun, but so we're just going to kind of go through the features of this rig and any questions you have, you can just post them and let us know. But basically the engine part of this, it's got a Freightliner custom chassis. It's an S2 RV chassis. It has an Allison 3000 transmission. It's got a Cummins 6.7 engine. Just a really solid engine. We picked a Super C because of course easy to get to. If you have a diesel pusher, you're gonna have to open up the floor in the bedroom or whatever to get to, but easy for mechanics, so saving time, saving money to get to different parts. You can even do a lot of things yourself with this, but just a really solid engine. These are industry standards: the Freightliner, the Allison transmission, the Cummins engine, the Generator diesel engine as well. It's an 8000 Cummins Onan as well. So just a really solid thing. We've done the maintenance required in the manual. The tires are Bridgestone, came with it new. You don't have a problem with these things wearing out. It's just a matter of care, proper inflation, UV protectant, and covering the tires when they're parked. Those are kind of the basic things with that. Easy to lift up the hood, just a handle right there. Easy for anyone to do. There's a camera on each side. There's a Garmin tablet inside on the dash that comes off, but when you put your blinker on for left or right, the camera will show what's going on there. Not to mention the mirrors, a couple of solid mirrors there. We have our Starlink hooked to it. We're transferring overseas, so a lot of these things here are up for grabs as far as what could be included with it. There's a wine guard on the top, but it's we just never used it or never got into it. We just wanted to try the Starlink, which has worked well for us. So anyway, that's the basics of the front end. The other things, the aspect of the Super C is the windshield. When you're talking a brand new windshield for Class A, you're talking $2,000 for, it's a truck windshield, and it's easy to replace. People have them on stock, and it's $200, $300, $400, so it's a significant difference there. Safety wise, we chose it because it's in the case of an accident, you have an engine to kind of break things up as far as any crash there as well. If you want quieter ride, you want the diesel pusher, because of course the engine's in the back, but we have conversations and stuff. That's not a problem, but it's like a car, a bigger engine, but you can hear more than a diesel pusher. So if it's just noise, that's your choice, then pick the diesel pusher. But this has we felt had so many more aspects to it that were advantageous to have the Super C. Door entry there. It's got a porch light. It's got a Girard awning across there. It's got a LED strip all along it there. We've got a on-demand hot water heater, which is propane, and then there's a hot water tank, which is electric. So it's got both in there as well. So, which is a nice feature. We got a TV here, which locks up, and the vent there's from the microwave. The kitchen sink's on the other side of that window. 2 key entry right there. One's a latch, one's a deadbolt, and then the TV. So this thing flips up, and then it's got a sound bar and TV. It's really good. Sounds good. It opens up. You can pull it out. So the thing kind of pulls out, and you can tilt it and bend it different ways. So kind of useful there. And then onto down below the cabinets. Tons of storage in this thing, but this actually houses the inverter and the solar controller. There are 375 watt panels on top, so you can kind of monitor things from this side. The second cabinet's pretty long. It's a big cabinet. We hook up our Starlink because we can send the wire down that just goes into the pole, but and there's an outlet there that we plug into. We still get the signal up into the rig from that. So nice big space there. That vent right there is from the dryer, washer and dryer on the other side of that wall. That is for the propane furnace for heat, which we don't use that much because you have on the top 2 heat pumps which do AC or heat, and that's mostly what you use, because if you're hooked up you want to use what's there and not your propane. But when it gets if it's chilly, you want to get some nice heat flowing. The propane heat's quite nice. Another cabinet there, you get a little extra space underneath and
really
that area.
A big space.
So you can fit, 3 or 4 full-size adults in there, and a couple in there. So it's great. So, and then the slides as well. We have like a silicone lube for the slides. A few things that you want to maintain. Bunk beds are on the other side of those windows. Those windows do tilt open. That window's for the back bedroom with a king size bed, and it's also an emergency exit there. This cabinet here is another big space. So what you have here is access into the propane. There's a propane tank on the other side, but for the grill or gas griddle or whatever, you have access to propane there, which is really nice. And then the last cabinet on this side is another big space. It's really solid. It's got 2 hinges there and just another hinge on the top, and then 2 latches there. It's got extra stuff to make it more solid. Each one has a light in it, so there's a switch inside to make sure things are turned on. Then you can do a switch on each one, so you can see what you're doing to each cabinet. So this is all pretty much storage on this side. The exception is the solar controller, which is a space, and then gas access there. So this is the hangout side, so you want all your stuff packed away there. Lots of storage. The storage capacity, or the weight amount you can put in this, is over 7,000 pounds, so it's a lot. You can put a lot in here. You don't have to worry so much about having too much weight. Of course, the back of the rig, it's a 12,000 pound hitch. We pulled a trailer with our Toyota Highlander, which is all-wheel drive, so it needed to be on a flatbed trailer. So we're talking 6,500, 7,000 pounds. Pulled it like it was nothing, so it does it quite easily. Backup mirror there, brake lights, and some other lights along through there, which is quite nice. That little exhaust there is not the main exhaust. It's for the generator, which is closer toward the back area of the coach. So on this side we got more of the electrical stuff. We have an automatic retraction for the electric line, and there's a surge guard, which is pretty serious. They said it was a $1,500 surge protector. We got another one as well, but I just read you don't combine surge protectors. Already got one that's pretty serious on the coach. We got a couple adapters for 110 volt and 30 amp, but this is 50 amp. So pretty good. Another outlet over there, light on the top. Here we've got the generator. The generator has currently 72 hours on it. It's an engine, needs to be used, so recommendation is 30 minutes once a week on a full load. So run both air conditioners while you run it for 30 minutes, so things keep moving through the machine. You got to change out the oil and filter, which you can do easily from underneath. So pretty good, pretty serious there. It's a Cummins on 8,000. Okay, and here we have the wet bay, which there's a filter right there, and this is for the black tank flush, which I like to leave connected, so it's easy to do the frequent black tank flushes. Of course, you get the port there. You have the black tank dump. You just pull the lever out, and it dumps it. Tank fill or city water, whichever you want to go off. Inside, and there's a hose reel for the white hose for the fresh water, and that's automatic retraction back there, and just other regular stuff there. So it's a pretty nice setup. These are not stickers, these are etched in through the steel, so pretty solid stuff there. The next one is the sewage drain system. I mean, they had a sewage pipe in here, sewage line or whatever that sticks into that pipe, but we never used it. We just got the Rhino with an extension, so it covers our needs there, but not much about that. There's well, the freshwater tank's under the bed, the king bed there, and it's a 150 gallon freshwater tank. I think the two tanks are right above here, so this is maybe the gray tank, which is 75 gallons, and the next bay is the black tank, 75 gallons. So 150 gallon freshwater, 75 gallon gray, 75 gallon black. Diesel fuel is only one place to put fuel in. It's a 100 gallon tank in there. So there's an additive, a diesel mechanic told me to put in with it to add efficiency and keep the engine run smooth. So the next one's just the black tank. Nope, don't need it. And next bay is the propane tank. So I found a guy that had a Renegade Verona, and it was strictly electric, and but he had a grill. He had a slide out cabinet that he set up and built on his own, but he had a little tank that he brought with him so he could use that gas grill. But this of course hooks up to the other side, so it can hook up a grill. But it's a pretty good option. I like to have several options. I got the electric, got the propane for water and heat, so a couple options are always nice as far as that's concerned, but it's a nice tank. And then lastly, on this side for cabinets, we've got there's air compressor, so that's the air compressor hose. The connection's kind of toward the back on the left, but the house battery on the right, and on the left is the engine battery. So it's pretty serious batteries there, but it's yeah, this is just a solid unit. The slides are on the back side with the bunk beds in the bed are Schwintek slides, and this is another type of slide, but they're pretty hardcore, pretty serious. The DEF tank, DEF fluid with newer diesels. It's a 10 gallon tank, and you just fill there. We put in the blue platinum DEF fluid we get from the store. You can do it at truck stops, but they're just extra additives I read about as far as keeping the DEF system running well. Block heater right here you can plug into if you get really cold weather. This unit's never been in extreme temperatures, hot or cold. We got it in Fort Myers and drove it up the East Coast, had it up in Maine for summer 22, and then been down south in southern climates for the colder temperatures. So it's just a great rig. It's very solid. It's a Renegade. They really take pride in their product, and you know, really pay attention to the details with the unit. So yeah, that's just the basics of the rig. It's just yeah, it's an awesome rig, but we're transferring. We just feel like we can't give it the TLC that it needs. So just hit us up with any questions.